Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to part fucking 5 or 6, I don't even know, of this Q&A answers session. I've changed the camera view a bit. I thought I might give you a little change here. The other view was getting a little bit stale, honestly, so yeah, here you go. Nice view of Claudius's face and some mountains and the candles and what have you. Anyway, so, continuing where we left off. Intrepid Mike asks an intrepid question. How many blades of grass are in your back garden? The answer is none, Intrepid Mike. I don't have a lawn. We have a pond and a patio and a few kind of hedges and flower beds and stuff like that, but no actual lawn, so no blades of grass whatsoever. So yeah, there you go. None. Easy. Easy question. Easy. Next. The Night Eagle asks, do you ever plan on playing rogue types? You mean roguelikes, I think. Like Caves of Cud or something like of that ilk for the channel. I already have. I played Caves of Cud on the channel a while ago. There's a set of Caves of Cud videos in a playlist. Use the search function. In addition, I did some Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead videos as well. I did some Dwarf Fortress ones, I seem to recall. Adventure mode, Dwarf Fortress adventure mode specifically. Yeah, I've done a bunch of roguelike stuff, so I probably will do it again in the future. So yeah. Moist girth. Moist girth. Those are two of the ugliest words in the English language right there. Moist girth. But anyway, Moist girth asks, what do you think of Mass Effect games? I'm not asking you to do a playthrough. I just want to know your opinion. I've played through the Mass Effect series in totality once. I've played through the first 2 games a few times, but 1, 2, and 3 all in one sitting, so to speak, with the same character. I've only done that once. And I kind of loved the games. I thought they were great. And unfortunately, the entire experience was soured by the fact that I played the original ending of the trilogy in the 3rd game, completely unaltered by all the DLC that came later, and it was such a balls-to-the-walls terrible ending that it retroactively ruined the series for me in a way. It sounds like such a stupid, whiny, fanboyish thing to say, and I don't like admitting it, but for some annoying reason in my head, that shit ending really colored the experience for me looking back. Like, even after they kind of fixed it a little bit with DLC, I never felt the need or want to go back and play the series again after that. When only 1 and 2 were out, I went back and replayed 1 and 2 several times. Like, I played that again and again and again with different characters, trying out different, play styles and things like that. I did it quite a lot. And yet, for some reason, the 3rd game, in spite of, in my opinion, Mass Effect 3, in my opinion, is actually a pretty good game right up until the end. Right up until, like, the last hour or so of gameplay, the game is great. For me, anyway, that was my impression at the time, bearing in mind I only played it once, and it was quite a long time ago now. Up until that last hour or so of gameplay, I thought it was great. But, yeah, the ending just kind of ruined it for me. I've never wanted to go back and play it again ever since, to be honest. It was just kind of exhausting. Weird. It's difficult to put it into words, to be honest with you, but yeah, it soured the whole thing for me, and I've never wanted to go back. So I guess my answer is weird. It's that, yeah, Mass Effect is brilliant, but at the same time, I never want to play it again. It's odd. Maybe I will play through them again someday. Maybe I will, but yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to undo the damage that the game's original finale actually did in the first place. It's quite an odd thing to describe and not sound like a total lunatic, but I don't know. Some of you out there who were the same will know what I'm talking about, I think, but anyway. Matthew McConnell asks, what are your bank and credit card details? Behave, Matt. Behave. Behave. Although I almost want to read that in the voice of George Agdugwango. What are your bank and credit card details? I want to wire you the money down. Does anyone remember Phone Jacker from back in the day here in the UK? Fucking hell. Jesus, that program had me in stitches. Fucking hilarious. Anyway, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about doing this terrible, like, pseudo-Nigerian accent for. It's... Go look up Phone Jacker. Go look it up. Goddamn hilarious. Anyway, so, where was I? Anyway, on a serious note, says Matt, I'm interested in how well your channel has done since your renewed dedication back around the turn of the year, I think it was. You were quite disappointed about the way the numbers were going. I'd like to know if there's been an improvement since. Congrats on the well-deserved 75k subs, and in case you don't recognize the profile picture, let's face it, it's unlikely you would. You may know me as Master Matt. Yes, I recognize you, don't worry. I recognize the profile picture, weirdly enough, actually, now, since you say that. Anyway, and I just bumped the microphone, apologies for that. Yeah, no, things have improved, not like dramatically. Like, we're not back to, like, you know, 2014, was it? Was it 2014? Like, no, we're not back to 2014 levels of growth, but that's not going to happen because my 2014 or so levels of growth, I think it might have been sooner than that, actually. I don't know. Can't remember. Anyway, my pre-slump levels of growth were due to the fact that I had released, like, 2 very, very popular, I want to say slightly clickbaity videos about the Elder Scrolls, you know, why the Elder Scrolls are not dumbing down, followed by part 2 of why the Elder Scrolls are not dumbing down, because apparently one video was not enough, dear God, and why you should still play Morrowind. And both of those, it turned out to be stupidly popular, and they are primarily the reason why I got so many more views and subscribers and so on and so on and so on. So they really skew the statistics, you see. So expecting to get back to that level of growth without producing some sort of video like that isn't going to happen. But what I have had is that, yeah, the subscribers have started trickling in again. I've had more views. Launching Oblivion, the new Oblivion LP series, was a roaring success. Like, the view count on that is astonishing for a game that was released in 2006, quite frankly. It's slightly baffling, in fact. Even Morrowind at this point, neck deep into Volume 2 of Morrowind, it still pulls in lots of views. Yeah, it's going quite well. Even fucking Halo, was pulling in at least 1,000 views per episode, which is more than I thought. I thought I'd get to the end of uploading Halo videos and there'd be about 200 people still watching it, but no, there's about 1,000 people watching it still. So it hasn't been a dramatic, like, miracle, I'm like Christ literally coming back from the dead kind of revival of the channel, but we're no longer on life support, I guess. Our stable is no longer stable. What? Our condition is no longer critical. It's now stable, so to speak. The channel is growing again, slowly, steadily, but it's growing again, and that's nice. I see people in the comments saying things like I'm a relatively new subscriber and stuff. And if there are people consistently in the comments saying, I'm a relatively new subscriber, that means, well, I'm clearly getting new people in and watching the channel and stuff. So clearly I'm doing something right, I think. And I think more importantly than any of that, it's a little cynical, it might sound, I suppose, but more importantly than any of that, my paycheck is only increasing. My paycheck at the end of the month is only getting bigger, and that really is the most important thing of all. I'm not gonna beat around the bush there. I need money to not starve to death at the end of the day. You know, so that's the thing. So yeah, no, things are going good versus how they were. It's been hard work to get it turned around, but it seems to have worked out for the most part. So yeah, no, it's going all right, to answer your question, basically. Vault Dweller asks, will you do a Fallout 1 or 2 Let's Play? Yes. I don't know when, so don't ask me when. I don't know when. I haven't got a plan exactly for when. But yes, I will. I think Fallout 1 and 2 are fantastic games. I'm always banging on about how they're better than the new ones in some ways. I should put my money where my mouth is and actually do a Let's Play of them at some point, and I think I will. Like I said, I have no idea when. My immediate plans for the future are booked right up. So I have no idea exactly when it will happen, but I can tell you that, yes, eventually, at some point, I will play through Fallout 1, I will play through Fallout 2. It will happen. The games deserve it, frankly. And the amount that I bang on about how old Fallout is better than Bethesda Fallout, I really should actually play the games and showcase them and try and illustrate to everybody what the fuck it is I'm actually talking about. So, yeah. I will do a Let's Play of both of those games at some point. I will. George Havenhand asks, will I ever see Arthur return? Yes. See the channel update video, as discussed. The Night Eagle again asks another question. Have you ever considered branching out into other areas of art/media, such as writing or editing of productions? I don't know how one gets a job as an editor of productions. So, yeah. I've often wondered, like, how do you get a job making trailers for stuff? Because I reckon I could do that as a job. If that was just my day job, just making trailers for stuff, whether it's games or movies or whatever. If that was I could do that as a job, I reckon. I could make trailers for things. Not, directing and editing, like, full-blown movies and shit like that. It's far too much work, but making trailers and things? Yeah, I could do that. I reckon. Yeah, I mean, I already do that, sort of on a lot of my videos and stuff. I just sort of enjoy making little highly edited videos like that every now and again, so it's good fun. I think one of my favourite videos like that I ever did, I think obviously there was the Morrowind intro that I did, which was kind of hilarious to me, actually, because the contents of that video has very little to do with the actual playthrough. I just made it because I wanted a fun little project to work on. And there was the fucking loud motorbikes outside this time of night. Anyway, there was I think it was like the intro teaser type thing for Chapter 5 of Skyrim. The one with the 2001 Space Odyssey music in the background with Mirak doing the creepy voiceover. That's one of my favorite things I've ever done, like editing video wise and stuff. I'm still actually quite proud of that. I think it's pretty good. And there's a few other bits and bobs I've done too, so yeah. No, I could do that as a job, just make trailers all day. Brilliant. Do that. Give me a nice big fat salary at the end of it. There you go. Sorted. If YouTube ever fails for me, I know what I could do. I mean, assuming I don't even, like I said, I don't even how do you get a job doing that? Do you like, where do you go to get that job? Who do you send a letter to? To whom do I post my CV for such a vocation? But anyway, if you're other, I suppose, right? Okay, so other areas of art/media, such as writing, as English language hard, difficult. I'm gonna have another drink. And think very carefully before I proceed. Okay, as discussed in, I think, previous videos of this little series here, I do write. I like to write. I consider it a hobby. I don't consider myself to be a writer, because I've never published anything. Or at least I've never had anything published. I've never tried to sit down and, honest to God, write a novel before or anything like that. I don't consider myself a writer, but I do enjoy writing as a hobby. I've often thought that I reckon in my lifetime I could probably write a book, and that I probably should at least give it a bash. I've made a few attempts. None of them have ever succeeded. Quite often it's me attempting to do National Novel Writing Month and getting about 10,000 words done when I should have done about 50,000 words, mostly because of laziness and getting easily distracted all the time. But yeah, I mean, one day maybe I'll sit down and I'll write a fucking book eventually. You know. So yeah, maybe one day. It's a bad attitude to have, isn't it? Maybe one day. Because maybe one day will probably never come if you just keep calling it maybe one day. But, you know what I mean. So, it's finding that unique cocktail of inspiration and free time in order to be able to work on something. Really. That's what it comes down to. But, yeah. So, I also need to scroll up through the questions yet again. So I'm going to pause the video. Gabriel Bouchard asks, how's real life? Well, personally, I think the graphics are great, but the difficulty level is absolutely shocking. And the gameplay is kind of rubbish. And it's pay to win as well on top of everything else. Real life's a bit rubbish and like that, isn't it? Really, I suppose. Do you still think about being a professional pilot? Yeah, we already answered this one before. I do still think about it. Unfortunately, I don't have a magic money tree, do I? So I can't make it happen just yet. Although eventually I plan to, one way or another. Rest assured, if I won the lottery tomorrow, the first thing I'd do is buy a fucking aeroplane. Even though I don't have a license to fly the damn thing. So, yeah. Chris East. Hey man, I just stumbled upon some Cyanide Studios projects. These hopefully 3 upcoming games during this year all seem to be up your alley. Blood Bowl 2, Space Hulk Tactics, and Werewolf the Apocalypse, especially the last one. Seems to need some love, so I hope you and the community can help get it some attention. How much is Cyanide paying you, Chris? How much? Because if it's a lot, then maybe you could put in a good word for me. I don't know. Ravengast asks, what is your favourite beverage? Knowing you Brits, it might be Bovril as easily as cream tea. Well, I can tell you what it's not. It's not Diet Coke. This is disgusting. I don't even know why I'm drinking it still. Most days of the year, my favourite beverage is a cup of tea. As is often said, everything is better with tea. And I happen to agree with that statement. Everything is indeed better with tea. Except for a really hot day like we've been having lots of lately. During the summer, when we're having a heat wave, tea is no longer my favourite beverage. A good beer is my favourite beverage. You know, a craft beer. Hopefully, you know, usually from like a relatively nearby-ish brewery or something like that. There's a brewery not far from where I live. That's very good in that respect. They do some really cool beers, and yeah, I like trying out different beers and stuff. I dabble with wine a bit as well, but I'm mostly a beer kind of a guy in the hot weather like this. But the rest of the year, when it's not, you know, when I'm not like being barbecued in my own skin by the weather, I like a cup of tea. So, with a little bit of milk in, no sugar, no sweetener. Callian asks, have you heard of the High Elves? Go away. Just, it's time to stop, Callian. It's time to stop. Where are your parents? Who are your parents? It's time to stop. And that goes for the 47 of you who thumbed that comment up as well while you're at it. Go away. Brigus14 asks, ever consider doing a viewer's choice let's play? No. Because if I'm going to do a let's play of something, it's going to be of a game that I'm passionate as fuck about. Because if it's not a game I'm passionate as fuck about, it won't go anywhere. It'll be a horrible experience, it'll be garbage to watch, it'll be garbage to record, it'll be garbage to play. And it will be a garbage series of videos. So I do not let my viewers choose what I will let's play, I choose for myself what I will let's play. If it was up to the viewers, I'd probably be playing Dark Souls or something right now and absolutely hating every minute of it. Instead, we're currently uploading a series of Neverwinter Nights, which literally nobody guessed whatsoever when it came to me saying I was working on a new secret series. Nobody guessed Neverwinter Nights. Everyone was guessing all sorts of things. Some good guesses, but nobody guessed Neverwinter Nights. So, which tells me that no one would have suggested Neverwinter Nights as an idea for a Let's Play. Which means if I did viewers' choice type stuff, we wouldn't have done a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights, and I would have missed out on probably one of my favourite LP series I've ever done. So, yeah, no. Viewers' choice? No. Sorry. It's not a thing that I do. This is not a democracy, I'm afraid, friend. Welcome to Davistan. I am your dear leader. You will worship me, or you will be blocked. And sent on the train to Banistan. Neighbouring country, you see, to Davistan. We have a whole extradition treaty and everything. So... What's next? Joe Harris asks, what is my favourite colour? I figure everyone will ask the obvious ones. Very funny. My favourite colour is red. Rallis asks, is it Rallis? Yes. Are you considering to do Beyond Skyrim Brim with Claudius? Yeah. Already said that one. HDH Star Wars, are you ever going to bring Stalker back? I don't know, maybe. Problem with Stalker is I've already played all the bits of the game I think are good. Problem with Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl is that the ending is a bit, like, rushed and frustrating and not particularly great, in my personal opinion. And the ending was basically the next bit that was coming up. We pretty much did all of the good stuff in the game already. I suppose there were one or two exceptions, like the Red Forest and stuff that we didn't get around to, but aside from that, we'd pretty much done all my favourite bits of the game. Like Lab X16, Out Lab X18, Yantar, Dark Valley, all that good stuff, Agraprom, like all my favourite bits of the game we'd already done, so my motivation to go back and continue and play the last frustrating sections of the game is a bit minimal, honestly. Plus, not a lot of people at the time were watching Stalker either, which was another kind of downer, really, to be honest with you. It was difficult to find motivation to go back to play a game that, A, I'd already played the good bits for, and B, not a lot of people were watching anyway, which is why Stalker fell by the wayside a bit. So I don't know, maybe. Maybe I'll go back to it at some point. No promises, though. So what else? What's next? What's next? I need to scroll up the page again. Okay. So I've discovered that as long as I don't tab back into the game, I can actually just scroll up without having to pause the recording all of the time. I think. Hopefully, I'm not somehow screwing this up, and you're just looking at like a black screen right now or something. But because it's in desktop recording mode, I think we should be okay, because the game is running in a borderless window and blah 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 technical blah 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 stuff. Who cares? Anyway, so the next question comes from none other than Snappy Dan. Snappy Dan asks, do you miss Idris and Elba? And how long do you think the LP would have lasted if there were no crashing issues? Yeah, I miss them a bit. It's been so long, though. It's, you know, time heals wounds and things, and I miss them a little bit, but, you know, it's been such a long time now. I don't care as much as I once did, I'm sorry to say. However, how long do you think the LP would have lasted if there were no crashing issues? A fair old while, I reckon, at least as long as Skyrim did, I think. Because, well, we did the first part of the Mages Guild. We were going to do the Lost Spires, which would have taken up quite a bit of time. We were also working on the Ayleid Steppes. After that was done with, I was probably going to have a go at the main quest. And after the main quest was done with, I was probably going to have a bash at the Shivering Isles. And all in all, that would have taken quite a long time to get through at the pace I was playing at. So, yeah, it probably would have lasted a good long while. Maybe another year or so, at least. Depending on the pace at which I went through it all. So, Jay Walker92 asks, when do you plan on continuing your... Dean Martin asks, what are your thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077? We already discussed it a little bit. My thoughts at the minute are very flashy trailer. CD Projekt Red are clearly very good at making trailers. But my thoughts right now are, can we see some gameplay, please? That'd be pretty sweet. I'm sold, guys. The world you've created looks awesome. Okay? It looks very cool. I like it. Now can we see some gameplay, please? Thank you. That's my thoughts. Barry Cross says, I found your channel several weeks ago. See, there you go. That's another newish subscriber. I really like the style and the role-playing aspects of all of them. One thing that stands out is the way the characters developed along the way. I'm about halfway through the Skyrim videos along with New Vegas series and just wanted to say thanks for the work and effort you put into each video. Oh, thank you, Barry. You're quite welcome. I try my best. You know, I don't think my shit's that great, to be honest with you, but I try. People seem to enjoy it, so I guess that's fine. As long as people enjoy it, fuck it, it's probably worth it in the end, eh? So, oh boy. Right, okay. I'm really sorry. I think your name looks Irish to me, and I really struggle with Irish names. Because none of it's spelled the way it's pronounced, and I'm so sorry, but okay. So I'm gonna call you Niam O'Dwyer, and I'm almost 90% certain that's probably not at all remotely how it's supposed to be pronounced. But I'm so sorry, dude. But anyway, he says, I'd like to know more about your interest in aviation. Also, what did you study in uni? Well, my interest in aviation... yeah, like I said, it stemmed from being a small child and going to places like Duxford Imperial War Museum and seeing lots of big aeroplanes as a kid, which, when you're a tiny child, are even bigger than they normally are. I became completely obsessed with them. You know how little boys are. You know, we love our big trucks and big airplanes and big machines and things. I was very much into the whole big machine thing. It's so huge and goes fast. It's really loud. You know, loved it to bits. On top of that, my dad would always put on lots of war movies and things like that. Stuff like The Battle of Britain, directed by Guy Hamilton. And stuff like that, you know, Spitfires and Hurricanes and Messerschmitts flying around. You know, he'd buy us like Airfix model planes, and he would teach me how to draw airplanes as well. Because my parents were both artists, and you know, my dad would teach me how to draw various things, and those various things often tended to be different types of aeroplane. I vividly remember him for the first time teaching me how to draw a Lancaster bomber, for example. You sort of drew from the front profile, so you can see like the front bombardier's bit in the cockpit and everything from base on. You draw an oval, and then you draw a circle and a semicircle, and the semicircle would be the gunner's bit, the circle was the bombardier's bit, and then you draw the cockpit on top, and so on and so forth, and that's where it all comes from, I think, really. Those old war movies, those trips to Duxford. Seeing the airplanes fly over the house, because we lived under a sort of airway. All that sort of shit, really. That's where it came from, and I never really shook it off over the years. And then, when I was about, I think, 8 years old or so, we got our first Windows PC, finally. And one of the first games we got for it was Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator, where you could fly around in Spitfires and Messerschmitts and Hurricanes and P-51s and stuff like that. And that kind of sealed the deal, really. From that point onwards, I was hooked on aeroplanes completely, 100%. I've never been able to kick it ever since. My love of aviation has only increased since then, to the point where I've flown real airplanes. I intend to fly real airplanes again in the future. One day I want to get my license and be able to fly them all by myself. It's expensive shit, though, like I said. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say, really, but it's one of those things. It's a deeply ingrained thing from my childhood that I've never been able to shake. Just fucking loved planes ever since I knew how to talk. I loved aeroplanes. So, probably will to my dying day, honestly. Also, what did you study in uni? I did 1 year of illustration, and I did 2 years of game design at university. That is what I did. To be completely honest, I don't particularly highly recommend either course. I didn't think they were that great. So, yeah. Don't take that as an endorsement, but that is what I studied. He also asks, any chance you do a playthrough of The Last of Us? That shit is way too scary for me to play, but I like to watch it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a console exclusive, right? I own it for my PS4, The Last of Us, but I don't think it's available for PC. Is it? I don't 100% know. Considering I already own it for PS4, I've never bothered to see if it is available for PC. I've never finished it either. I played it about halfway through, I reckon, but I never actually finished it. I don't really remember why either. It's nothing wrong with the game, certainly. It's a very good game, but I think I just got distracted by real life stuff and forgot to come back to it. That's what happens with a lot of games, to be honest with you. But would I ever do a series of it? Sure, yeah, why not? I mean, assuming I can get it on PC, that's the thing. If it's console exclusive, I can't, because I just can't do the whole capture card thing. I've tried before, and it just doesn't work with my particular recording setup that I use. Unfortunately, it just does not work. If I had some sort of fancy 2PC streaming capture card setup, I probably could do it, but I don't. So I've tried using capture cards before, because at one point I wanted to record a short series of Horizon Zero Dawn, because I played that like last year, I think. And I became really enraptured by that game. I really enjoyed playing that thing. I was like playing it non-stop for the better part of a week at one point. Which is surprising for, your standard modern open world game with all the same features as all the other open world games. But for some reason, I think it was something about the setting of the game that really captured my imagination, and I really enjoyed playing. And I thought I saw about trying to figure out a way of recording my PlayStation so that I could do a series of it. And I tried, and I did capture cards and things. I spent a frankly embarrassing amount of money on trying to make the setup work, and I just couldn't get it to work to my usual standards of quality, which admittedly are fairly low, which should tell you something about how bad it was. And so I just gave up in the end, and I probably will remain given up on it until someone comes along and makes some sort of miracle solution for recording consoles that actually works for me. So, yeah. in short, if The Last of Us is available on PC, sure, I'll do a series of it one day. I don't see why not. It would be a great sort of little series to do, a bit like I did with Halo, a bit like I'm doing right now with Neverwinter Nights. It's sort of a side thing. It's a side gig that I could play through in a few days, record all of it, edit it, and then upload it over the course of a couple of months. Sure, yeah, I think that'd be a great candidate for that sort of thing, but only if I can play it on PC, because that's the only way I'd be able to record it, unfortunately. So, oh boy, I've completely lost my place. Pazza. How do, Pazza? Pazza's a regular on my Twitch streams. Congratulations on the 75k, mate. What's been your favourite series you've ever done on this channel? Keep up the excellent work. Shit. I don't know. There's so many to choose from. I can give you like maybe my top 3 or 4. The new Neverwinter Nights, as I said. Again, don't want to spoil shit, but the new Neverwinter Nights series, probably one of my favourites I've ever done. I don't want to make it sound like I'm shilling for it. Like, guys, go watch my Neverwinter Nights thing. It's really good. No, if you don't want to watch it, don't fucking watch it. It's fine. But from a personal enjoyment perspective and how sort of proud of it I am looking back at it, I'm pretty fucking proud of Neverwinter Nights: Shadows of Androntide. I think I did a really good job recording that series. So that's definitely up there. The very short Rise of Flight series I did, I think, was very good. That's definitely one of my favourites. What else? And it's Skyrim, obviously, with all its ups and downs and its technical difficulties and its weirdness. Yeah. Good old Skyrim, good old Claudius. You know, it was a titanic effort, and I actually fucking finished it. To my great surprise, in spite of the save game nearly imploding on itself and trying its best to die, with all the weird door bugs and glitches and things like that, I actually managed to finish that goddamn series. It became quite an epic endeavor in the end, and we actually got to the end of it. And yeah, it'd be unfair not to rank it up there as one of my favorite series I've ever done, to be honest with you. So yeah. Yeah, that'd probably be my top 3, I reckon. I think, yeah. Trying to think of other stuff. It's interesting that I don't think my favorites probably match up with my viewers' favorites. My viewers' favorites are probably stuff like the Idris Oblivion playthrough and stuff like that. But funnily enough, I wouldn't rank the Idris Oblivion playthrough up there because that was still very early Dave. That was early Sorcerer Dave. With my early recording setup, with my not very good mic, and my early commentary, I was still trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing with this whole Let's Playing thing, and you know, low video quality, and the fact that it wasn't even finished, you know, it just cut off halfway through because of technical bullshit, you know. But nevertheless, I'm sure a lot of my viewers probably rank that probably among their top 3 favorites, but I wouldn't personally, from the perspective of the guy who created it all. It's funny, really, like that, I suppose. How much time are we on here? I think, yeah, okay, I'm going to need to cut the video again here, I'm afraid, so I'll be right back, folks.